Yeah, I'm going to go over north polarized water. Actually, this is a theory of Dr. Hulda Clark, but not only her. It's actually other people in the magnetic world. Now, I just want to state that I can't make any promises for this, but let's first avoid some confusion, because it's actually easy if you have a, well, this is not Hulda Clark, it's actually a brand name, Dr. Clark Mag Zapper, or you can have Soda Instruments Mag Pulsar. They're basically the same device. I think the Soda Instruments is just a little bit stronger though, but this has an adjustable feature on it, and when you turn it all the way up, it's pretty close to the power of the Soda Instruments. Pulse is about every 4.5 seconds, I think. Now, I just want to point something out. You want to use the north side of the magnet, and when they're talking north, it's actually geographic bio-north. Actually, this is cut off on the top here. It's actually magnetically south. This is actually bio-north negative. N stands for negative, too, if you want to think of it that way, north, as in what the magnetic therapy people say. If you got one of these things, it's no problem, okay? Now, if you're using a magnet, you actually want to use where the compass, you see this red needle? The red needle on the compass? It'll actually point to the bio-north of the magnet. The magnetic, let me put it this way, the red needle, think of it as positive. It points to the negative side of the magnet. Magnetic therapy people call that bio-north, and navigation people call it magnetic south. But just remember, the red needle points to the negative side of a magnet if you're just using plain magnets. I'm going to use a pulsar, and we're going to pulse this water. Now, there's something about, actually, Hulda Clark, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think Hulda Clark was, there's detractors and people that can't stand her and think she's a quack. But she's also stating things that are actually in agreement with other people that are into this magnetic therapy, and even about treating the water with the north pole of the magnet. North pole of the magnet means bio-north. I got to keep saying that because, boy, that confused me. I always used to figure just use this thing. It's already marked. But it's actually magnetic south on the magnet itself. It's actually geographic north is actually magnetic south. So they're talking about the polarity at the North Pole, which is negative. That's the same type of magnetic force you use with the water. But she says actually people that are ill, a lot of times the problem is they're getting a lot of south, let's call it positive water. Your body actually has a slight negative charge, and if you drink polarized water, after a while, and it's considering that your body's mainly water, right? So let's take some, this is distilled water. Now the ice cubes themselves are made out of well water, and I'm adding distilled water to it, so it's going to have some minerals in it. It's not going to be like complete distilled water. It's going to be like half distilled water, half well water, spring water. Okay? It's not city tap water or anything like that. So, what we're going to do is I have I'm going to call it the negative side. It's also the north side. Actually, I have this side taped up. That's the positive side. Like I said, when the magnetic therapy people talk about south, it's actually the polarity found at the south pole biologically. Okay? The polarity found at the geographic south pole is actually magnetic north, as the navigators would say. How's that? But just remember, if you're using this paddle, use the N side, put the water on top of it, turn the mag pulsar on. First we got to plug it in, of course. Well, that would help. That would help. Anyway, when you plug it in, it should go beep. There it is. Just plug in, and you can see each time it goes up like that. That's a pulse. And you can turn the sound on too. You can go like make a noise. I find that aggravating, but some people find it like, is it really working? So they have the beep, turn it off. But anyway, you could actually use a plain magnet, again, with the north. Now, just remember, it's bio-north facing the water. But the polarized water, she actually stated that our bodies are mainly polarized north during the day. I don't know what, she was also stating, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give this to you as like gospel medical advice or anything, but I think this lady was on us a lot of stuff, and probably a lot of people didn't like it because it's like kills a couple people's revenue maybe. But she stated that the let's just call it negative charge of the water being negatively charged with magnetism, it actually is causing. It's actually when you drink it in the body, it'll actually cause the negative polarity in the body. Now, actually, our bodies are, a good healthy body is negatively charged. This also goes along with alkaline and acidic. Acidic is a slight positive charge, like pH. pH acidic is a slight positive charge. pH alkaline is a negative charge. That's actually synonymous terms, believe it or not. So, I mean, it's like, I'm giving you things here that aren't like medical science per the medical establishment, but if you want to really think about the theory or the logic behind it, it makes sense. It makes sense. But, I guess the medical establishment will tell you it's snake oil or whatever they're going to tell you. But if it's snake oil, it's not going to do any harm. It's not really costing you anything. If you have a mag pulsar, you might want to try this. But make sure you treat the water on the inside. And if you're using a regular neodymium magnet or something, if you just want to place one underneath there, to find the side of the magnet that is negative, think of this red pointer that points north as positive, and it will point to the negative side of the magnet. Magnetic therapy people call that north, bio-north. Sometimes they'll just say north, but it's actually it's magnetized south. And the reason they're doing that is it's like the magnetism is backwards at the, let me put it this way, they call this the bio-south pole. Most times you don't want to use that, right? That's geographic or bio-south pole, it's positive. The bio-north pole, which is actually the words are cut off on the top here, is magnetic south. So a lot of times magnetic therapy people say, we always use the north side. They are talking about north as in the geographic north, which is actually magnetized south. I had to say that a few times because, boy, I noticed this tripped me up, and it never tripped me up because this was already properly marked. This is actually N north, as in what the magnetic therapy people talk about, and it's actually, so when all the magnetic therapy writes something about, use the N side or north side for this and that, and it's 98% of the time pretty much you use that, it's already pre-marked, but magnet people, engineers and normal people and navigators, we do it the other way around. I gotta keep saying that because you don't want to do this wrong, okay? I mean, even though it's a theory and the medical establishment will tell you the North Pole energized water or whatever it is, negative water, is not going to do a damn thing, but there's a lot of people in the magnetic therapy world say it does. Hulda Clark said it did, but she's not the only one. She says as you drink this water, you will actually become more negatively charged, more alkaline, so I guess in a way it must be changing something in the water to actually make it alkaline. It has to be. Those are actually, actually scientifically, when you're talking about something having a slight negative charge, that is actually alkaline. It's a synonymous term. pH is actually potential hydrogen. When you have something that's a negative charge in the water, it actually has a negative, it actually is alkaline. A positive charge is acidic. So you're drinking alkaline water basically when you're actually drinking negatively charged water, and that's using biological north, not magnetic. It's biological north or magnetic south, as a navigator talks about. It's magnetic south. I have to keep saying that over and over again because a lot of people get crossed up on that deal because the magnetic therapy people talk about north and south, just the opposite, and I just want to make sure nobody screws it up. And I can't promise nothing with this, but basically Hulda Clark, her statements say that when you drink negatively charged water, it actually will cause your immune system cells to actually eat up the bad stuff, and it's good for your good for your body and healthy and all this type of stuff. That's her claims, not my claims. She's the one that tested all this stuff, and I know there's detractors on her, but what can I tell you, man? I'm just going to present this information because I don't think anybody else is presenting it. And if the theory holds up right, in other words, you're getting negatively charged water, which is the same, synonymous actually as alkalizing water. Could you not use a magnetic pulsar to make your own alkalized water? I mean, it's not going to be like way alkalized, and I don't think you're going to pick it up on a measurement test much. I wish I could take a pH tester and test this, but somebody's might refute that. But I do know scientifically that negative charge on the water is synonymous with alkalis. That's a scientific fact. But what's supposedly going on here is that this is actually making the water slightly alkaline too, besides which is synonymous as saying negative charge. And that's supposed to be very healthy to drink. So, just want to pass this on. And if you want to try it, if you already have a magnetic pulsar, or if you have a magnet and you want to find a negative side, and the red pointer points to the negative side, which is biological north, that's the side you want to face the water to, And give it a go. Give it a go. Anyway, I figure I'd present this information as something not well known, and could be very useful. Actually, I think some of this magnetic therapy is going to be something that, the problem is if you have the knowledge and you understand which way to put the magnets, and you understand, there are applications when you actually use this side, the opposite side, but that's usually that's the exception to the rule. But the problem is, if say people can buy magnets for like a few bucks, and say they do work for all these different problems like pain management in your ankles and stuff, you're going to put a lot of people out of business pretty quick. Actually, I'm going to tell you this copper bracelet actually has magnets on the end of it, and it actually has bio north facing the skin, which is magnetic south. It does. And they don't make any claims, and it also has the open end, just like the Lakowski coil. The Lakowski coil, something else I talked about. But golfers swear by it sometimes when they have, they're playing golf and they're like, my wrist hurts, my elbow hurts, and my tennis elbow hurts, or whatever. Some people actually swear by this stuff works. So, I just want to present this information, not well known. So, this is what I'm doing. I'm using a zapper on water. And this is my distilled water and my distilled water maker, too. Been using it extensively.